went back to sleep. And I think that was the second one. Because the first one I knew what it was, but I was like, I don't feel like getting up. But Mom woke me up at 11:30 asking if I was up, and I was like, yeah, I am now, but thank you. I do appreciate that, because if I don't regulate that sleep, it's going to get into a vicious cycle, and what's going to happen is when Jay and them get back, and there's too much noise, I get grumpy, because I'm woken up by the wrong kind of sound or the wrong kind of noise. And I don't want to be grumpy with the little ones around, because that just makes for a bad day. But my current issues is just trying to live a stress-free life. And unfortunately, as humans, we tend to get overly curious about things that make us curious. And I end up going into a negative place, and that's not good for me either. I need to learn to just let things be. It's like, why do you pick at a scab? Some age-old questions why people do the things that people do, and nobody can fully comprehend or understand. And that's the thing with psychiatrists. Not saying that my therapist is doing this, but a lot of therapists, or not therapists, but a lot of people who deal with psychological, training and whatnot, so they can help people out, don't always understand, because they learn it from a book, and you can't learn everything about everybody from a book. Book can give you, examples with answers, but not everybody is the same. So book learning might be great for the basics, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not that I can change everything, but I can at least change myself, and hopefully gradually change the way things are here at the house, because I've got Jenny Ann over here who not only tries to help me, but I personally think if it wasn't for Jenny Ann, I wouldn't be driving. Or if I was driving, it would be, I'd have to have my own vehicle. But I learned how to drive in New York, which is great, because most of New York drivers are offensive, not defensive. I'm the opposite. I'm a defensive driver. But I can literally say, in the last 2 decades, I think Jenny Ann has done more good for me than bad. Yeah, we have our tiffs, we have our issues. I know this is going to be hard, because I've tried to be defensive. I tried to defend my wife from a lot of things, but the truth be told, I mean, I love her to pieces. I don't think I could do much without her. At least not for a couple of years. This is also one of the things I worry about when or if she passes. Before, I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time with the budget. She understands budgeting more than I do. There's just a lot of little things that she does that I don't. I do sit there and help her with. I mean, she makes decisions that I have a hard time making, because I'm the opposite than she is. She wants to pay down or pay off the smaller credit cards, or the smaller limit, the rate, the cards that don't have have a high level compared to the car. So her idea is to pay off the little ones first, and then once you pay off all the little ones, to start focusing on the bigger ones. Well, yeah, I for one don't understand that. Me is just like, okay, which one has a higher balance? Let's pay that one off first. But personally, if I had the choice, I would be like, cancel all the credit cards except for 1 or 2. Pay everything off, pay everything as I can. But those other credit cards are frozen. They cannot be used anymore. They've either been canceled or frozen until they're paid down. And then once they're paid off, I would get rid of probably half of what I have, if not more. I guess part of my thing is I don't understand this. Buy it now, pay it later. Then later comes along, then you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, I'm sorry. I just, that concept never got to me. I could never understand that concept. But then there's mom. Unfortunately, mom, all my life, literally all my life, has never been a very positive person. You know, she doesn't have a very positive outlook on a lot of different things. And anytime anything goes wrong, she flies off the handle and becomes a drama. Especially lately, it's been very dramatic. And I mean, I love my mom to pieces too. I mean, she carried me around for 9 months for crying out loud. But I mean, I know why we moved in, or at least why me and Dre moved to Missouri, and then ended up moving into a house together that's big enough for the three of us. It's actually big enough for 5 people to live comfortably. I mean, the only thing is, mom's more of a recluse than I am. She's more of an introvert than I am. I used to be the same way, but Jerry pulled me out of that shell, and I'm so thankful for it. But the thing is, to decide who has to go and who has to stay in my life has really, really been difficult. And I mean, I have nothing, personally, other than the differences in mood and whatnot. I would rather have us be a nice, big, happy family. But unfortunately, mom, I don't know. I know I can't ask anybody to leave my life. I mean, there's a reason for being with mom, and it's mostly because of her mental status. And I know as she starts to slide mentally, her emotions and her attitude and whatnot goes with it. And, we have talked, mom and I have talked in the past about her, if and when Diane and I can take over all the payments and all the finances for this house. I've talked to mom about, would she be, willing, or does she have the desire to check out some of the senior citizen communities where she will have her own apartment or something like that, with the access to medical services and all the different things that a lot of senior citizen communities. This is not this is more like a retirement community with all the different benefits of a activities, medical services, and people that can come in to check on you and help you out in your apartment or your little. In this case, what we were looking at was, it's a community for the elderly. It's a senior citizen community. They have a activity room with all kinds of different activities, from bingo to various kinds of activities that most senior citizens enjoy. But she will be living primarily on her own, in her own space, basically in her own little bungalow or house or whatever, apartment we're going to call it, with full assistance. Basically, if you need assistance, they're there for you. If you have a plumbing issue or electrical issue or something that needs to be fixed or worked on that you can't do, they have services. So it's I think we went to it once for her. It was a high school reunion for her, and I don't remember. It was a couple years back, but it was, or was it for Aunt Sue? But it was in this community, and mom had looked at some of the pamphlets and whatnot, or Aunt Sue did, because Aunt Sue has been considering moving to a senior citizen facility or community here in Rolla to be closer to us, because we're the ones that try to come to her aid when she needs it. Unfortunately, because of where my life is, not my lifestyle, but just my job and things like that, we don't always get to go up to St. Louis to check in on her on a weekend or something like that. But if I could afford to take over the house payments and all the electrical bills and all the bills basically.
Okay, guys, so that's part 2, and there's going to be a part 3. And Jim, I know you're listening. One, I'd like to know, where'd your eyeglasses go? Because you said your eyes were bad. Also, your wife is almost blind. Where are her glasses? Leave Sally alone now. That's her house. I think you should get your own place, you and Jerry. Just my honest thoughts and opinions. Bye-bye.